Then Isaac departed from there and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again the wells of which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. He called them by the names which his father had called them. Also Isaac's servants dug in the valley and found a well of running water there. But the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." So he called the name of the well Esek, because they had quarreled with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarreled over that one also. So he called its name Sitnah. And he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehoboth, because he said, "For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." Now, these wells that Abraham had dug, this is another... Philistines go and fill these wells in. Here they go again, destroying something that they could use. So, Isaac's, if they're not going to use it, we'll use it. But then they get angry and call it their well. And, and as you said earlier, last episode or maybe one before, Isaac is more of a peacemaker than he is willing to go to war, which he probably would have had full rights to do so. Yeah. Probably had the men to do it. Yeah. Like you said, his father had an army, and I'm sure, it was kept up as far as, when men come to age, they join the army or whatever. But these guys are, again, cutting their nose off to spite their face.
Yeah.
Because they destroy something and somebody fixes it, and then they demand it back. You didn't want it in the first place.
Yeah.
And as you said, they're jealous. I have nothing else. That's just stupid.
This is the way of the world. People, the masses, do not like to work. Do not want to put work in, and they also get jealous and envious, and they want to be spoon-fed. They want to be. Some are born with silver spoons in their mouths. Mm-hmm. Some wish that they were born with silver spoons in their mouths, and some are actually going out and making those silver spoons that people are coveting over to stick in their mouths. Abraham was one that made the silver spoon. Isaac was one of the few examples we ever see in history of someone actually going out and continuing to make the silver spoons. Like, that's one thing in modern history, we have plenty of examples of that. If we look around, we'll see them, like the Vanderbilts and other robber barons that, the father builds an empire and the children and the grandchildren just squander it all away. Mm-hmm. Isaac's not one of those guys. He's continuing to build a legacy, build wealth, and people need to understand. I mean, this is not a finance show. This is not a trade show. We're not, focusing on those stuff. But it's part of life. It's part of reality, and where the Lord actually has a lot to speak about when it comes to money and wealth creation. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the examples of that, where we can learn from the Word of God and say, if you want anything, you have to go out and make it happen. You have to hustle, in today's parlance. You have to, there's no other way to say it. You just have to put the work in. You have to learn a trade, learn something, figure out a way of making something happen, and then execute. You have to learn a trade. You have to come up with a plan, and then you have to execute the plan. And all three of those parts require a level of competence. If people don't have that competence, if they don't have the confidence of knowing something, they gravitate towards socialism and communism. And that's what we see in coastal cities these days, from New York to LA, even Chicago. Doesn't have to be a saltwater body around to be infected by that same virus. And you can see the connection just by looking at the originator of the modern communist idea. Karl Marx never held a job in his life, never did anything productive in his life, but he talks about the means of production. What do you know about the means of production? What are you talking about? You never produced anything. You have never gotten off your sorry little bum and done anything. And hundreds of millions of people around the world are following his ideas. Why? Because people tend to listen to people who think like them. Worthless people listening to worthless people. Financially speaking. I'm not saying people are worthless in the sense that, oh, let's all just get rid of them, end them, and, mass concentration camps and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. People are created in God's image and they're valuable. They have an intrinsic value, each and every single person. But I'm talking about as far as their skill sets, their mental capabilities, their moral compasses. That's what I'm talking about. And we've gone off the rails again already.
Well, that's the best part about doing this show is it's not just reading it.
Yeah.
We can go off the rails. We can chase a rabbit. We can whatever. Because in reality, that's how life is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we go off the rails, ride with us.
Yeah.
Just might be some fun. There is one thing I wanted to point out. Has nothing to do with what we were reading here.
Okay.
But in America, today is Labor Day. This is Labor Day. The biggest, most oxymoron holiday in America. Labor Day. There should be, if you want to call it something, call it non-Labor Day.
I know,
because
right?
nobody has to work today. Well, it's a national holiday. Most people are off. Of course, you do have your.
Yeah. And this is the American version of May 1st, which is the International Labor Day.
Oh, okay. I was like,
And it's something that the communists came up with. So again, in the spirit of, like, we're talking about communism and socialism and its ancient counterpart, and how people love communism because they hate working, and we're celebrating Labor Day by not working.
I mean,
It's insanity.
Yeah, it's just like jumbo shrimp. Military intelligence. That's another oxymoron. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Get back to where we were. Get back to the rabbit trail, and then we'll get back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all connected. That's why it tickles me when people say that the Bible has nothing to say about real life. We're talking about real life right now, aren't we? Mm-hmm. And we're talking about it coming through a biblical passage. If unfortunately only a small portion of our viewers are youth, but if you're young and you're watching this, please stop listening to people that are lazy, that don't get out of their snuggies and their PJs. I mean, if somebody doesn't get out of their PJ to go to Walmart, perhaps they don't have anything to say about work and how things should be distributed or redistributed.